Intruder thought she was home alone until the German Shepherd took him down. In seconds, the intruder learned he had just made the biggest mistake of his life by choosing this house. What happened next stunned everyone. Before we start, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. The late afternoon sun poured through the living room window, casting warm golden patches across the carpet. Claire sat curled up on the sofa, a steaming mug of tea in one hand and her favorite book in the other. Outside, the neighborhood was quiet, the kind of stillness that made time feel slower. At her feet lay Max, her 4-year-old German Shepherd. His powerful frame stretched across the rug, his head resting on his paws. He looked relaxed, but Claire knew better. Max was never fully off duty. His ears twitched at every creak in the house, every rustle of leaves outside. She reached down to scratch behind his ear, smiling when his tail gave a slow, lazy wag. "You're my shadow, aren't you?" she murmured. Max's amber eyes flicked toward her, then toward the front door, as if checking to make sure all was well. The air felt peaceful, ordinary. But Max's ears swiveled again, this time toward the back of the house. Claire didn't notice the subtle shift in his breathing, the slight tension in his muscles. To her, it was just another quiet afternoon. For Max, it was the first sign that something wasn't right. Down the quiet side street, a man dressed head to toe in black moved with calculated steps. A knit mask covered most of his face, leaving only his cold, focused eyes visible. His gloved hands adjusted the strap of a worn backpack slung over one shoulder. Every movement was deliberate, practiced. He'd done this before. He kept to the shadows, skirting along hedges and fence lines until he reached the back of Claire's property. The house looked still, no cars in the driveway, curtains half drawn. Perfect. Inside, Max lifted his head, nostrils flaring. A low, rumbling growl vibrated from deep in his chest. His gaze locked on the direction of the sound, ears pricked. Forward. Claire glanced down, puzzled. "What is it, boy?" But Max didn't look at her. His entire body had shifted from relaxed to alert, muscles taut under his fur. Outside, the intruder crouched near the back door, pulling something from his pocket, a thin metal tool that glinted in the fading light. He inserted it into the lock with the confidence of someone who had done this many times before. Max rose silently to his feet, ready for whatever came next. The sharp click of the back door unlocking echoed faintly through the house. Claire froze mid-sip of her tea, the sound so out of place it took her a moment to register it. Her eyes darted toward the kitchen, but before she could move, Max was already in position, standing between her and the source of the noise. His fur bristled along his back, ears angled forward, and a deep growl rolled from his chest like distant thunder. Claire's heart quickened. "Max, what is it?" she whispered, but her dog didn't glance at her. His eyes were fixed on the darkened hallway leading to the back door. Another sound, this time the faint squeak of hinges, sent chills racing down her spine. Max's stance shifted lower, weight balanced, ready to spring. Claire gripped the arm of the couch, torn between fear and disbelief. She'd never seen him like this before. The warm, safe feeling of the afternoon had vanished, replaced by the cold realization that they were not alone. And somewhere in the shadows of her own home, someone was coming closer. The door swung open just enough for a shadow to slip inside. The intruder's figure filled the narrow hallway, his black clothing absorbing the dim light. He moved, with slow, deliberate steps, scanning the room with a predator's patience. Max's growl deepened, resonating through the living room like a warning siren. His paws planted firmly on the rug, muscles taut, tail stiff as a rod. Claire's breath caught in her throat. She didn't need to see the man's face to know. His intentions weren't good. The intruder's gaze flicked to her, a twisted smirk forming under his mask. "Stay quiet, lady, and I won't have to." He didn't finish. Max took a single step forward, head low, teeth bared in a silent promise of what would happen next. The man hesitated, clearly not expecting resistance from a four-legged defender. But instead of backing away, he took another step toward Claire, misjudging the storm brewing at his feet. Max's growl turned into a sharp bark that rattled the walls. The intruder's smirk faltered, and for the first time, doubt flickered in his eyes. It was the moment before the explosion, seconds away from the German shepherd unleashing his fury. The intruder lunged forward, reaching for Claire with one gloved hand. That was all Max needed. With a burst of speed, the German shepherd launched himself across the living room, his powerful frame a blur of fur and muscle. The man barely had time to react before Max's teeth clamped around his forearm, the force driving him backward. He stumbled, cursing, as pain ripped through his arm. The intruder swung wildly with his free hand, trying to shake the dog off, but Max's grip was unyielding, every muscle locked in place, fueled by instinct and training. Claire's eyes widened, her heart pounding. She could hear the growl, rumbling from deep inside Max's chest, a sound that sent shivers through her. The man's bravado was gone, replaced by frantic shouts. Max shifted his weight, forcing the intruder down to his knees. The thud of impact echoed through the house. The dog's eyes never left his target, his body positioned between Claire and danger. "Get him off me," the intruder screamed, desperation cracking his voice. But Max didn't move. Not until Claire gave the word, and she wasn't about to. In that moment, the intruder realized the truth. He had picked the wrong house. The intruder thrashed, twisting his body in a desperate attempt to break free, but Max's jaws held firm. Every time the man tried to pull away, the German shepherd adjusted his stance, digging his paws into the carpet for leverage. His growls rumbled like distant thunder, low and relentless. Claire's hands trembled as she grabbed her phone. Her voice shook when she spoke, but the urgency in her tone was clear. "This is 911. I have an intruder in my home. My dog's holding him. Hurry." The man's eyes darted toward the back door, searching for escape. He tried to kick at Max, but the shepherd dodged effortlessly, tightening his hold and forcing the man flat against the floor. "Get this thing off me," the intruder shouted, his voice rising in panic. Max's ears flicked toward Claire's voice as she ended the call, but he didn't loosen his grip. His job wasn't finished. Claire stepped closer, her fear slowly replaced by a strange sense of awe. She had seen Max as loyal, as loving, but now she was seeing something else, the unwavering, fearless protector he truly was. Somehow, she knew, he wasn't letting go until help arrived. The sound of sirens grew louder, their wails slicing through the tense air. Red and blue lights flashed through the front windows as tires screeched to a halt outside. Within seconds, 2 police officers burst through the door, weapons drawn. "Don't move," one barked at the intruder, though it was clear Max already had him pinned. The second officer moved in, quickly securing the man in handcuffs while keeping a cautious eye on the German shepherd. "Good boy," he murmured, impressed by the dog's discipline. Claire exhaled for the first time in what felt like hours. Max finally released his grip, stepping back, but staying close, eyes locked on the threat until it was safely led away. The house felt strangely quiet once the patrol car pulled away, taking the intruder with it. Claire knelt beside Max, running her hands over his fur, checking for any sign of injury. He stood still, breathing steady, as if nothing could rattle him. One of the officers returned, his tone both serious and admiring. "You're lucky," he said. "That man's been breaking into homes all week. Without your dog, this could have ended very differently." Claire looked down at Max, her throat tightening. "I know," she whispered. "He's my hero." Max leaned into her touch, tail giving a single, content wag. For him, it wasn't about praise. It was about protecting the person he loved most.